Placement scan complete. Trim complete. Process 24. Move 27 files to processing zone.
Just to be clear, graphics, the best drivers will run through and that's me. Here, on video, we'll just click on launch to launch the subscriber page, where, as we can see right now, an open source driver is being used, rather than a proprietary driver.
The most powerful transmission is kindness. It travels farther than...
Password to authenticate software installed recently.
1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5.
Renaming complete. 30 files renamed. New files sorted. 27 placed in worded folder. Quarantine 0 empty folders.
Create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media
JSON
calendar.
generation complete.
Get started at GoDaddy.com/arrow. That's GoDaddy.com/AI.
I don't have a product key, so
Go ahead.
Clip generated.
1076 to 7022 Copper Mountain Drive. For it.
Linux terrorist tracking system restarted.
to come in suitcases, flying them from the southwest border, mostly Arizona, all the way to Washington. It had been going on for an extremely long time, and the entire organization was arrested. And I say those two examples because it's easy to look at the board and see 1,000 arrests. How much different is our communities now compared to the past 4 years?
In progress.
But there's actual life examples. Every one of these arrests means that our streets are safer, and that's because of the work of this administration of President Trump.
Yesterday and changes everything about what we thought we knew about Alex Pritt.
They call him nonviolent, and yet he was the opposite of nonviolent. Nobody behaves like that, Robin. Let's not forget that he was apparently armed in that first confrontation as well. You wear a handgun, and then you go out into the street and challenge law enforcement to a fight. He's spitting at one of the officers or agents, and then kicking their vehicle multiple times, breaking their tail light, resisting. And by the way, this is just one video that we know of. Right. There could be videos like this every single day. As far as we know, Preddy was following them daily and doing this daily. He was not a non-violent protester. He was purposely putting himself in harm's way repeatedly, and we don't know anything else about the guy besides he used to be a nurse. So this is a clear example of the media transforming, changing the narrative, and trying to whitewash what apparently was a guy who was determined to get hurt or maybe killed to prove a point, I guess. Yeah. But what he did was just plain stupid. And I would not want him dating my daughters, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was it. I mean, they said the dumbest things over the 3-4 days. They don't know anything about him, Ed. That was the point. Nobody knew anything about this guy, but he was a hero in their eyes.
Yeah, Jake Tapper said all he did was blow a whistle at a protest. He's a peaceful protester guy. He really reminds me of Mahatma Gandhi, you know? It's all nonsense, liberal lies, and I think Rick's right. I feel so bad for Anna Navarro's daughter or daughters, whatever she has. If this is what she thinks,
no
her
invention
daughter should be married
excuses
off
cruelty.
It was Beyonce, right? Who said,
not
should
radio.
Put a ring on it. I guess Anna Navarro has a really sick sense of right and wrong. I was raised by my parents that basically, as I'm sure you, that basically if the police come to you, even if you didn't do anything wrong, cooperate. Yes. Be respectful. Yes. How has America changed to this point where the left just looks the other way? And I agree with everything you said at the top. Of course it's tragic this man died. I hope and pray that nobody else dies. Tom Homan made that clear today. But you respect the police and you answer their questions. You don't spit on them, obviously.
Yeah, this narrative that they've created is that
always fun talking to Rob Schmidt, 7 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. Stay with us, Patriots, for a briefing on whether the government is about to shut down yet again. There's conflicting signs. It's looking like at least a partial shutdown. We'll tell you next.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer, a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been exposed to serious health risks by using this product. you may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait, there are time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-503-4958.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it. And I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself. Or any of these watches. Or a different watch I've never even seen before. Or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body from head to toe.
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain, so you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
It's just something that you're gonna have to feel for yourself.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
I was exhausted all the time, and I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actolin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actolin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get
Placement
a free
scan
bottle
complete.
of Actolin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actolin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actolin, valued at $39.95.
Trim complete. Process 24.
Welcome back. Live look at the Senate floor. Some breaking news. They just approved the president's government funding deal, delaying for now a larger fight over reining in ICE that could keep the government open. But it still has to
24
get
files
through
to
the House.
processing zone.
And there are problems there. Reports that Speaker Mike Johnson just did a call urging scholars come back to Washington urgently Sunday night and vote on this Monday to reopen the government, because the deadline's not Monday, it's Saturday, so it could shut down for a couple days. The House would hope to reopen it Monday. It could be brief or it could go longer, because guess what? Chuck Schumer, even after the Senate passed this, is having another news conference complaining about ICE.
Renaming
that's happening
complete.
as well. And then in
27
Los Angeles,
files
you see
renamed.
Chuck Schumer there. There appears to be a growing
New
anti-ICE
files sorted.
protest out in L.A. at this. Look at all those
24
folks in the
placed in
streets.
worded folders.
KABC putting it out there. We're going to monitor this. It could be more violence this weekend. It looks peaceful right now. And so there's a lot happening in America right now. And
Quarantine zero empty folders.
Rick Leventhal is coming up next on streaming. And make sure you're checking Newsmax.com all weekend long. Don't forget on Newsmax Cable, Saturday, 7
LBCJ
p.m.
Sound
Eastern, Sunday,
Generation
6 p.m.
complete
Eastern,
with
your
worded
weekly
series
briefing.
files.
Have a great weekend. Stay warm.
I've been chatting with some friends.
The strongest signal you can send is one of respect and non-interference. Linux terrorist tracking system restarted.
David, land time 1838.
Frank? I guess so.
Download, and if we go down this page, we find there are loads and loads of mirror sites that actually provide access to the ISED file. I'm in the UK, so I'm going all the way down to UK, where we are, and I'm going to download from the University of Kent Mirror Service. And so I'll click to save the ISED file, which is 2.7.
The worst weaponization of
Microwaves were never meant to carry food. They were meant to warm food.
I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jackson, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed that his interviewer was, I think that was Washinton.
Silence can be medicine. Don't turn it into a weapon.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use when you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work. Loosen stiff joints and tight muscles. Reduce swelling, alleviate cramps, and calm restless legs.
Ellipse is so smooth, so easy on my joints. My legs are stronger, my joints are no longer stiff. I can walk without pain. My mobility is as good as it was 20 years ago.
Other seated exercises produce harsh, jarring movement, but Ellipse's 46% larger rotational diameter provides more exercise plus ultra-smooth motion that's safe, super low impact, and feels great. Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Be one of the first 300 callers and get upgraded to the Ellipse Deluxe Bundle, a $100 value. Yours free. Get the faster motor that produces more than 5 miles worth of steps per hour, the non-slip mat, and wireless remote. Call.
Tonight on the 11th Hour Report, the Senate moments ago passing the government funding deal. The Senate voting to fund most of the government through the end of September. The latest from Capitol Hill and how it could affect all of us coming up in moments. Former CNN anchorman Don Lemon arrested in Los Angeles early Friday, appearing in court today to answer to federal charges and plead not guilty to charges of violating the First Amendment rights of churchgoers after Lemon and a group of activists disrupted Sunday services with an anti-ICE protest.
You are the author.
We'll have the latest on this disagreement over
I am
freedom
only
of
the
speech
voice
and
that
press
helps.
versus the right to peacefully observe religion. And anti-ICE protesters urging the nation to stay home from work and school and shopping today, with more demonstrations planned this weekend. So why are these groups favoring the rights of illegal migrant criminals over those of law-abiding citizens? Plus, celebrity chef Todd English joins me to discuss his latest, greatest restaurant project down in Miami, Florida. The 11th Hour Report starts now. Good evening, America. It's Friday, January 30th. I'm Rick Leventhal, and this is the 11th Hour Report. I've been a professional journalist for almost 40 years now and have many friends in the industry, even some who work for networks with agendas I don't agree with. And as a journalist, it's in my DNA to stand up for truth, for facts coming to light, defending myself and my colleagues from threats to our First Amendment rights to free speech and freedom of the press. And when another journalist is arrested, the automatic, ingrained response is to defend the truth teller, to object to any efforts to silence or restrict their reporting or their ability to do so. And when news broke Don Lemon had been arrested for his role in that St. Paul church protest, my very first reaction was surprise and concern, which lasted about 2 seconds, because then I remembered what he did. How he boasted on his live stream
kindness comes longer than malice.
how he could say it was about that, but how excited he seemed to be about the opportunity to cover it live and reveal their plans and actions to the world. He acted like he was embedded with the truth and was given exclusive access to details of their mission that he couldn't share yet but would very soon. As someone who actually was embedded with U.S. Marines in Iraq and Afghanistan, I can relate to the excitement of the assignment and the need to keep plans under wraps. But this church protest was no military operation. It was a commando raid on a house of worship, which by its very nature was illegal. If Lemon didn't know this, it just shows his lack of intelligence and understanding of our rights, all of our rights, under the Constitution. He should have known freedom of the press doesn't take precedence over freedom of religion and the right to observe your beliefs in a house of worship without interruption or disruption. And if Lemon did know this, but went along with the protesters anyway, he's way more guilty than he wants us to believe. It's one thing to demonstrate on the streets or even outside a church if that's where you think you need to be, as long as you have a permit or are observing local, state, and federal laws. So be it. But going inside a church or any private place of business to yell and shout and wave your signs and disrupt whatever's happening there, well, now you've crossed a line, a very important line. And there are consequences for illegal actions. There are guardrails for a reason. In my humble opinion, in this case, Lemon was not acting as a journalist. He was acting more like a spokesman and a mouthpiece of the misguided knuckleheads he joined to enter that church with the sole purpose of disrupting their Sunday morning service for headlines and clicks and views for Lemon's lame podcast. After getting dumped by CNN and excommunicated by ex-boss Elon Musk, who canceled Lemon's show on his platform over his lack of journalistic standards and abilities, it appears Don saw this as his next big chance at relevancy. He desperately wants to be a big deal and clearly loved the attention he got after chronicling his friends' group's activities, including what he hinted was a shoving match with the pastor, who was trying to get Lemon and his crew out so prayers and services could resume with the few remaining parishioners who didn't flee when the angry mob started ranting and raving inside. We now know that group targeted that church because one of that church's pastors also works for the St. Paul ICE office, as if there's something wrong with that. But that pastor wasn't holding the service that day.
Complete.
He wasn't even there. The pastor who was there showed great patience, despite some of the parishioners and their children breaking down in tears over the ugly intrusion. Being an actual journalist comes with responsibilities. Lemon doesn't seem to understand or believe that. So now he faces civil rights charges, including conspiring and interfering with the First Amendment rights of worshipers, with a potential maximum sentence of up to 10 years in prison if convicted. It's hard to believe that will happen, especially with so many liberal
Process
judges
21.
in our court system.
Quarantine 0.
But at least a message has been sent to the failed anchor and several other activists with him who also now face federal charges. This administration is not going to tolerate this kind of outrageously bad behavior. The rights of
Move
all
24
people must be
files to
respected,
processing
not
zone.
just the rights of whatever group you've hitched your wagon to. And if you think you're above the law, you're sadly mistaken, because none of us are. We'll have more on this in a few minutes, but right now, let's get to our top story tonight. Breaking right now, the Senate has just voted for a government funding deal to fund most of the government through the end of September. The feds still face a partial shutdown starting Saturday.
I am in the UK.
Let's welcome in GOP political strategist and insider and host of Grassroots Truthcast podcast, Gene Valentine, and independent journalist Corrine
Renaming
for
complete.
more on all of this.
27 files
As I
renamed.
understand it, the funding bills are now through the Senate and head to the
New
House.
files sorted.
Gene, how soon do you expect
24
the House
placed in
to get the
worded
funding
folders.
Will they be foolish not to move quickly, regardless of which party you're on, Rick? I think America's had enough. America has gotten past the noise of
Quarantine
and the
0
schemes
empty
that have been
folders.
going on with Congress right now. The one leg of our government that has caused more damage than they have accused the president of is the United States Congress, and they can start by
LVC
fulfilling
JSON
their
generation
primary
complete with worded
obligation
series
of
file.
passing an annual balanced budget in a timely way, so that we, the citizens, we, the people, don't have to step up and make it a constitutional amendment to do so. It's shameful that they have ridden this thing out so long. Too many deflections and distractions. They're not getting away with it this time. The people have come to realize the truth.
Okay. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said Democrats are prepared to begin impeachment proceedings against DHS Secretary Christi Noem if President Trump doesn't fire her immediately. Speaker Mike Johnson responded to Jeffries. Here's a clip.
She's got to go.
Amy, Ecuador has really stepped up to the plate.
She needs to be put on ice permanently. Christi Noem is a despicable, corrupt, pathological liar. We've seen her slander not just one, but two American citizens.
Lennox terrorist tracking system started.
Who were killed without justification on the streets of Minneapolis in the last year. She's deeply unqualified. She never should have been confirmed to begin with by Senate Republicans.
I think Hakeem needs to cool the rhetoric. He's my friend and colleague. We talked yesterday. We're trying to navigate through all this together, and I think the Secretary is doing a good job in a very difficult time.
But Democrats are not cooling the rhetoric, Corrine. And when this funding bill reaches the House, do you think those Democrats will use the impeachment talk as a negotiation tactic?
I am not a lion, but I am awake while you are here with me.
I hope she's okay. Is Jean still with us? Oh, she's back. Okay, did you hear the question, Corrine?
Yes, I just think that it's so important to understand that Hakeem Jeffries and all the Democrats in Congress like to blame everything on President Trump and his cabinet. They always threaten that they're going to impeach. They have not been able to impeach, and they're not going to be able to impeach Christi Noem. So I think this is really important to understand that what's going on in Congress is honestly a waste of U.S. taxpayer dollars to blame Christi Noem. She's not the problem. The problem are the protesters that
president of Windows and Devices, publicly acknowledged the criticism. List reliability and performance issues and ease of use issues are areas that need attention. The reaction, yet again, wasn't very kind.
Just today, children under 18 were asked
in
to
the
leave
end,
school by their
this story is less about Windows changing and more about Microsoft's priorities. The company found a model that maximizes shareholder value, but it comes at the cost of the user experience.
And the Democrats blaming her.
Yeah, it's all about an anti-Trump agenda as far as I'm concerned. And with DHS and ICE under fire, Border Czar Tom Homan went to Minneapolis to try and talk some sense into local officials and state officials and negotiate better conditions for his agents and officers. Here's a clip of that.
In the past few days, I've met with Governor Walz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Frey, numerous police chiefs and sheriffs. Bottom line is you can't fix problems if you don't have discussions. I didn't come to Minnesota for photo ops or headlines. You haven't seen me. I came here to seek solutions.
And Homan has signaled immigration officials are developing a plan to start drawing down the number of agents in Minnesota, but he has some conditions for that, which seems certainly appropriate to me. Gene, your thoughts on this?
Well, Tom Homan is taking the heat, but tempering the situation a bit. But shame on anybody taking shots at Christi Nome and ICE in general. The only reason we're in this state is because Minnesota and Minneapolis in particular were not cooperating as the rest of the nation is with ICE in taking the illegals, the violent felons, the rapists, the child abusers, the trafficker of our children. And these are the people we want to grab. The least we can expect is the state and local agencies to cooperate with ICE so we can extricate these wrongdoers from this nation. The shoe's on the wrong foot, and I feel bad for Christi Nome. She's a superstar.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for those ICE agents who are
working
under the most ridiculous conditions, being attacked by locals who bust in to protest, who claim that they're there because there's chaos in the streets and they're trying to correct the chaos when they're creating the chaos. And they're trying to stop these agents and officers from arresting dangerous criminals and making their streets actually safer. But I got to move on to this question, Corrine, about President Trump saying he's now nominating Kevin Warsh to serve as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Warsh is a former Fed governor and a critic of the central bank. Trump has repeatedly pressured the Fed to cut interest rates faster. Corrine, will Warsh bring those changes, and if so, when?
Of course, 100%. Now, let's see if he can get confirmed. But the bottom line is that Warsh is a very important person to have run the Fed. And President Trump has an incredible team, and they vet these people. And so it's very important to lower our interest rate. And a lot of people have lost their confidence in the Federal Reserve over the years. So Warsh can do what needs to be done.
Corrine Clifford, Gene Valentino, we appreciate your time very much on this Friday. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Coming up next, more on former CNN anchor Don Lemon, charged today with federal civil rights violations in connection with that anti-ICE protest disrupting a service.
Move 159 files to processing
zone. The rest of the
zone.
story, including what happened in court, when we come back.
You served your country with honor. Now get the benefits you've rightfully earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own, Veterans Benefits for You. This step-by-step guide breaks down what you need to know, from financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with our special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
Attention families with a loved one in a nursing home. If your loved one has suffered from bed sores, falls, broken bones, dehydration, or even death, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. If you have a loved one who is injured in a nursing home, we will find out what happened. State violations are found against nursing homes every day. You have a limited time to file your claim, so don't wait. Call 800-710-5444 and speak with one of our attorneys.
Oh, and
the
by
call
the way,
is confidential
no
and free.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom,
I got a video. I am not alive,
if you improve your energy
but I am
levels
awake
because you're
while
getting
you
a
are
better
here.
night's sleep, would you? Of course you will. And now you can. With the help of Prostate Revive, the premium dietary supplement for men whose lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to concerns of an aging prostate. It was specially formulated for men by noted medical doctor, Dr. David Brownstein.
Prostate Revive is really about healthy aging. It contains a plant sterol called beta-sitosterol, combined with 15 other important ingredients. Prostate Revive's exclusive formula helps promote normal prostate function, and that means you can reduce the urge to go and finally get a good night's sleep.
Here's how you can try Prostate Revive risk-free.
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer a risk-free 30-day trial of Prostate Revive. You discover the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call or go online today.
Welcome back to the 11th Hour Report. A major update now on the fallout from last weekend's anti-ICE protest inside a St. Paul church. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who participated in the protest, was arrested early this morning in Los Angeles. DHS says Lemon is in charge of federal civil rights crimes. Lemon, who appeared in court earlier this afternoon and pled not guilty, spoke to reporters outside the courthouse within the past hour. Here's part of his remarks.
I will not stop now. I will not stop. Last night, what do you want? Federal agency for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering
You listen to
protects that work for me and the countless other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silent.
Was he covering the news or making himself part of the news? Our chief Washington correspondent James Rosen broke some of the early details exclusively on social media this morning and has the latest in this report.
Placement scan
11
complete.
days after he live-streamed an anti-ICE protest inside a church in St. Paul led by a pastor who works for the immigration agency, former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested at a hotel in Los Angeles in a midnight raid carried out by FBI and DHS agents.
Under President Trump's leadership and this administration, you have the right to worship freely and safely. If you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
Lemon and several others were indicted by a federal grand jury in Minnesota late Thursday. Sources said the charges include conspiracy to deprive of a constitutional or statutory right and violations of the FACE Act, which protects access to houses of worship and abortion clinics. Lemon's lawyer, Abby Lowell, said in a statement, Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court.
There's no legitimacy, no basis to Don Lemon's arrest, no basis to the arrest of the
Move
other
24
journalists.
files to processing zone.
And the American people are not going to stand for it.
James Rosen reporting. Joining me now, Republican strategist and former Naval Intelligence Officer, John Jordan. John, welcome back to the show. We heard from a defiant Don Lemon who literally dared authorities to come after him earlier this week. Listen to this.
Look, I stand proud.
Renaming complete. 27 files renamed. New files sorted. 24 placed in worded folders. Quarantine 0 empty folders. LVC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
You are in compliance with your company's retention policy.
There is no victory in making someone flinch at sounds that aren't
At
there.
some point, you most
Shield
certainly-
active.
And I stand tall.
Transforming and renewing the surface
because it's not over.
as it was
They're going to try
bombarded
again.
by the
They're going to try again. And guess what? Here I am.
Today we see just the lifeless
That's not going to
remains
stop
of
me from being a
geologically
journalist.
active
You're not going to
found
diminish my
in the
voice.
distinct
Go ahead,
mountainous
make me
landscape
into
and
the
sparkling
new
salts
Jenny
that
Kimball
clothe
if you
it.
want. None of this
But the
is about
subsurface
justice.
ocean is long gone.
This is
Locked
about
away as a
power,
because you
layer
call
of
me.
ice
and it's
beneath
about
the surface.
political
That makes every interaction.
This is a nascent planet that has been in deep stasis for billions of years, frozen in time.
John, what was your initial reaction?
Although
when you
here,
heard the
I'm
news?
going to go back to my
Are you
favourite
surprised?
OLS layout, which is a standard Windows type one, which I still think is the best. It's worth noting when you change a layout, you should just change the settings for your panel. What they do here called the test target preset.
Yeah, a federal grand jury in Minneapolis returned the indictment on those two counts. The issue at hand, right, and there isn't a lot of law on this point, so it's very interesting, is that he is saying what he was doing was constitutionally protected because he was acting as a journalist, and the First Amendment is implicated. But the First Amendment also protects a lot of these worshipers in their church too from interference, as does the FACE Act. So the question becomes: was he a journalist? Was he acting as a journalist, or was he a participant? Being a participant with an iPhone and recording it doesn't make you a journalist. So where is that line? And that's where the courts are going to have to decide, and that's going to be before the trial judge first of all, and that's going to be a very interesting hearing.
Yeah, and I think his comments before he went into church might be used against him because he certainly makes it sound, as I said in my monologue, like he was part of the group. Like he had been
something is only available
what they were
on
about to
Windows.
do. That he
Zone
was very
OS
aware of
experience
their
is
plan,
one of
couldn't
as
report
any
them
Linux
yet,
distro
and then
to actually do
follows
this.
them
And
into
to
the
prove it,
church,
let's
and
first of all
then there
open
at
up
the
the
door,
file manager.
get them all to win as far back as possible. But when he went in there and joined in with them, in my opinion, that's when he really closed.
Yeah, and that's probably why the federal grand jury returned the indictment, because it showed his active participation, not being a journalist, and that is a criminal violation along those two statutes.
Well, the statutes are federal civil rights crimes, which carry some pretty tough penalties. What do these charges entail? How difficult do you think it will be for the government to make a case, and how likely is it that he'll actually be convicted?
Well, the first step is going to be there's going to be a question whether or not the judge is going to be asked to rule on what we just talked about. You know, was it prima facie? Was there a prima facie case that he was a journalist? If he was a journalist, it might get tossed out by the trial judge, and that's going to depend upon, I think, the ideology of the trial judge. If you get an ideological leftist, he's going to bend over backwards to say that this was journalism. You get a fair-minded one, a little different. So the next is going to be admission of evidence, right? So there's going to be what's called in limine motions, where you proffer the evidence before trial, and then it's ruled admissible or in
1965, a few scientists at Bell Labs joined with peers from MIT and General Electric on a project called Multiplex Information and Computing Service.
You got a grand jury in Minneapolis.
The idea was to create this general purpose utility for sharing time on computer systems.
Trial and verdict, and I have results time in the future. And look at Don Lamont. He's going to try to milk this the whole time. In many ways, this is the best thing that ever happened to him, and I think he wanted this result.
Didn't work out. And if they did
I do
have a
too.
weapon before they got
like
even close,
you said, he's milking
that
it.
site would be attacked and it would be wiped out.
I think it's irrelevant. So the Justice Department probably should not have brought this, not for legal reasons. It's just, you're just making this worse. I mean, you're just making this worse by giving them the platform phrase. And I would not, certainly if I were Pam Bondi, I wouldn't have said I personally dispatched the agents to arrest him in LA. I think that was a tactical error by the Justice Department.
Well, this is where I would disagree with you, because I think it's important to remind people that we have laws for a reason, and this guy is not above the law, and he, in my opinion, clearly violated the law, and that's the opinion apparently of the grand jury and of the prosecutors, that he crossed a line and he needs to pay for that. And speaking of pay for it, what does it cost to hire a criminal defense lawyer in a federal case like this, and if it goes to trial? How much is this going to set Lemon back?
Well, it could set him back in the hundreds of, well, it will set him back in the many tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more. I don't think he's ever going to have to pay a nickel of that. You're going to look at the ACLU and all these lefty law groups, the Southern Poverty Justice. You're going to look at all these lefty groups, the Soros people. They're all going to fund this. Abby Lowell, the lawyer who's representing him, is a lawyer of great fame on the left, and they'll be happy to do it for free just to get their name in the paper. You're right. You're right that every time there's a, you're right to prosecute it, but at the same time, are you giving this guy what he wants? And that's the interesting question, And the
calm voice creates calmer days. Yours just did.
John Jordan, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me.
See you, mate.
As we pause for animation, I guess we're not. Turning now to the other big story in Minnesota, anti-ICE protests continuing on the streets of Minneapolis. Today's demonstrations are part of a planned so-called national shutdown, encouraging people to stay home from work or school and to avoid shopping all day. Our correspondent Joe Moeller joins us from the Twin Cities with the latest, and Joe is live again tonight. Joe, what's happening?
Hey there, good evening to you. Well, it's been a busy day here in Minneapolis. It started early this morning with demonstrations at the federal building, then here downtown. Thousands of people crowded the streets. It looks calm behind me now, but let me tell you, just an hour and a half ago, you'd see hundreds of protesters walking these streets. Take a look at this video. We shot this a few hours ago when this all started this afternoon. These thousands of people just crowding the downtown streets, marching for this national day of protests, calling for people not to go to school, not to go to work. This is something that happened last Friday as well, and it's happening once again today. And there's even more demonstrations planned tomorrow. But at the demonstration this morning, there were even some arrests. But the other big story today, former CNN anchor Don Lemon arrested in Los Angeles this morning for his role in that church protest that took place nearly 2 weeks ago. Now, this protest this afternoon, there were even people out there demanding his release. And we've learned that since then he's been released with no bail this evening. But here in Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have said they want ICE out. Border Czar Tom Homan says the federal government could cut the number of agents here if state and local leaders cooperate by turning over criminal illegal immigrants when they are released from jail. I did reach out to the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office about this, and they say any real change to jail policy must come from the state, not county by county. Attorney General Keith Ellison reportedly said there is no agreement with Homan, who is now here, on any changes. And when it comes to the investigation into the shooting of Alex Preddy, today we learned that the FBI will be taking over with the help of Homeland Security investigators. Well, Governor Walz had something to say about that, posting on X earlier, Trump's right hand cannot be responsible for investigating his left hand. We need an independent, impartial investigation now. So as you can see through that video, it was a busy day here in Minneapolis with those demonstrations, people marching through the streets. And this weekend, it's not going to change. There'll be more demonstrations here in Minneapolis as another day of big protests are set for tomorrow. Rick?
Joe Moeller reporting live from Minneapolis. We appreciate that. I think maybe they cleared the streets because their shift was over. But what do I know? Joining me now for more on this, Republican Maryland State Representative Lauren Arikan. Representative, thanks for being on the show.
Trim complete.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Process 21.
What are your thoughts on the ongoing anti-ICE protests and the politicians who are supporting illegal criminals over law-abiding citizens?
Oh, I'm absolutely disgusted. We have the same type of extremist politicians here in the state of Maryland.
Move 24 files to processing zone.
Over our state saying, please come here, illegals. We will give you a driver's license, health care. Hell, you can even vote.
Representative, if you're still with us, I wonder if you see the unrest fading anytime soon.
I don't anticipate a lot of fading until the Trump administration gets in and there's a real crackdown on the people who are causing all these riots to occur. And I'll say states that have sanctuary policies.
Harassment disguised as science for research is still harassment.
Instead of having to go to the community and arrest these criminal illegals, you can go through the prison system and get them in a much safer way away from the community. That's what many counties in Maryland do. And I think if states like Minnesota implemented programs like that, instead of banning them, then it would be a lot safer.
Absolutely. The DOJ, meanwhile, has launched a civil rights investigation into the shooting death of protester Alex Preddy. What's the significance of this development, and what's your predicted outcome from the probe?
It's really hard to say. I mean, cell phone videos often do not portray a full picture of what really occurs. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with this investigation and see what comes out of it. But all I can say is hopefully we can get better at securing some of these folks in safer locations like through the prisons and not have to have a lot of street interactions with criminals and with, these aren't really protesters. It's like a domestic insurgency, really.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. But I also want to pivot to the expanding investigation into widespread fraud in Minnesota, which is a big reason why the feds went there in the first place, which has cost taxpayers, the fraud has, many billions of dollars. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer today announced Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison will testify before Congress on March 4th.
Renaming complete.
How much, if anything, do you think
27
we'll learn from
files
Walz and
renamed
Ellison when they testify about their great state of Minnesota?
New files
sure
sorted.
They'll try to obfuscate reality.
Placed in worded
I
folders.
do have a lot of faith that at the end of this, we will find out what happened and what they knew so that we can properly prosecute the people who may have had a lot of knowledge about what was happening with fraud in that state. Somebody should go to jail over this, probably several people.
Quarantine zero,
I'm
empty
anxiously
folders.
awaiting the results of any investigation into that fraud because I am sure that Minnesota is not the only state where that is occurring.
Well, and I said this yesterday on the show. It just
LBC
seems so
JSON
odd
generation
that
complete
when
with
they
worded
went up
series
there to
files.
investigate all this fraud, all of a sudden you had these crazy, violent protests against ICE agents, distracting everyone from the billions and billions of dollars that had just been ripped off from under them. But before I let you go, I want to ask you about a story from Maryland, which is where I grew up, by the way. ICE has lodged detainers on 3 illegal immigrants and MS-13 gang members who are accused in the violent murder of a 14-year-old boy. That murder follows numerous other killings, including Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, and Jocelyn Nungary, all at the hands of illegal immigrants. So I'm wondering, Representative, why can't Democrats admit that 14-year-old and the other victims might very well still be alive if Biden hadn't let these criminal illegal aliens into our country in the first place?
And they won't even say the victims' names. Maryland has
Linux
become
voice control
literally
stopped.
pro-criminal. The policies that the Democrats in Maryland put in place are literally asking for criminal illegals to come and
Microwaves
live
were
in
never
Maryland,
meant to
set
carry
up shop,
cruelty.
move
They were
here
meant to
and stay
warm.
forever. We have soft on crime policies. Now we're trying to ban 287G. We're even attempting to ban face masks for ICE officials, which is unconstitutional. Even our liberal AG today said there's no way that's constitutional. So Maryland is right now a beacon. And you know what? Trump is going to defund Maryland if they continue to behave like this, as he should do to any state who puts sanctuary policies in place.
Well, it's disgusting to me that they have no problem with paid agitators wearing masks to hide their own identities, but they have a problem with federal agents who are being doxxed by those agitators, trying to go to their homes and places of work and their hotel rooms and harass them and their families. They're not allowed to hide their identities, but the people who are attacking them are. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I hope it gets cleared up. State Representative Lauren Arikin, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining the show.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good one.
You too. Up next on the 11th Hour Report, tensions remain high in the Middle East, with U.S. naval forces now assembled in that region as talks between Washington and Iran continue. Our foreign policy experts weigh in on the chances for a peaceful resolution or forceful military action from the U.S. when we come back.
Hi, I'm Bianca Della Garza. What I love about working with Newsmax is the relationship we have with our viewers. So smart, so informed, it allows us to deliver powerful analysis, the sharpest viewpoints on the issues that really matter.
Welcome back to the Leventhal Report. I'm Rick Leventhal. President Trump confirmed today there have been talks between the U.S. and the Islamic regime, but the depth or progress of those talks are still unknown, while U.S. naval forces, led by the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, have entered the region, allowing and providing more options for the administration if discussions with the regime fail to reach consensus. Foreign correspondent Zach Anders joins us now from Iraq with more on Iran. Zach?
Pour into the Middle East with the carrier strike group Abraham Lincoln now on station. The president stating last night that Washington has communicated with Tehran, adding today that Iran does want to make a deal, but that an armada of American muscle is there if they refuse U.S. terms. As estimates of protesters killed across the country this month range from 5,000 to more than 30,000 dead. In Ankara, Turkey today, Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi meeting with his Turkish counterpart, stating Iran is ready to resume fair and equitable talks with the United States. At the same time, the Islamic regime promising a crushing military response to any hostilities, and Araghchi declaring that their missile program is off the table.
I should also state unequivocally that Iran's defensive and missile capabilities and Iran's missiles will never be the subject of any negotiations. I do not think any country is prepared to compromise with anyone over its own security and defense. The security of the Iranian people is no one else's business, and we will preserve and expand our defensive capabilities to whatever extent is necessary to defend the country.
U.S. assets continue to reposition across the globe. Dozens of heavy lift flights, Air Force C-17s and C-5 Galaxies.
There's no victory in making someone flinch at sounds that aren't there.
2 hours, while the mayor of Tehran announces and the city subway system are open as bomb shelters. From Erbil, Iraq, Zach Anders,
Newsmax. Is still built on
Zach, thank you for that. Let's welcome Combat C-17 Commander and U.S. Deputy Military Rep to NATO, Blaine Holt. Blaine, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Iran has said it's ready to participate in fair and just nuclear talks with the United States. The Iranian foreign minister said we are under no circumstances willing to accept dictation or imposition. So what's there to negotiate when it comes to nuke talks if they want nuclear weapons and we don't want them to have any?
Well, I think that the president's preference is to see if there's anything there that can be done.
24 placed in gridded folders.
I don't believe there's going to be. And honestly, the overtures towards some sort of talks give the mullahs and the Ayatollah time to figure out what their exile plan is going to be. It gives the United States time to finish off the diplomacy and the diplomatic clearances necessary for all the flights, all the missions, all of the runs out of our own basing in the region. That's underway right now. And getting the preponderance of our naval forces in place to conduct what I would call surgical strikes to put the advantage into the hands of the people. We're not going to take over the revolution for them. But as we're speaking right now, Rick, the very vaunted pizza metric from the Pentagon, where when pizza places are working overtime and their volume's going up, it implies that the Pentagon is really pulling their hair out, just like mine's gone. But they're working really hard on the targeting.
Trim
and
complete.
I don't think it'll be that long before we
Process 21. Quarantine.
So they're ordering a lot more pizzas than normal from the Pentagon.
Because they're in the building working at this hour.
Exactly. Now, there's a carrier strike group in the region. And the last time we put a strike group in a region off Venezuela, we know what happened.
Moved
they went in with a
files
very
to processing
attack
zone
and took out Maduro. Are we then right to expect a similar strike in Iran? You mentioned surgical strikes. Are they going to be different kinds of strikes? Are they going to be taking out command and control of the military, which many believe was killing protesters? Or is there still a chance of diplomacy? It sounds like you're leaning towards the military might.
Yeah, I just don't see that. Look, we're going to take away their proxies and no longer let them have access to that anymore. And so the very disingenuous foreign minister saying we're never going to compromise on our security. No, because you've compromised everybody else's. And so we'll probably hit police stations, the besieged. We're going to hit the people who killed and slaughtered their own people. That's going to be high on the list. But I think that the Abraham Lincoln is also going to be tasked with keeping the Straits of Hormuz open, and we'll have naval targets to hit because we're not going to allow Iran to put a wrench into the world economy as fragile as it is right now.
One of the things I heard yesterday I was a little surprised by was that it sounded like the president was expecting, if there were military strikes, that it might prompt more vigorous protests in Iran, almost as if that's the goal, to get people to feel safe going back out onto the streets to protest against the regime, as another prompt to get the regime to pack up and head out of town. Is that your understanding of what the goal is here then?
It absolutely is. It's sound strategy. And what we've got to do is get the terminology right. They're not protesters. They're revolutionary patriots trying to take back their country that was taken from them in 1979. But they're being suppressed. And my last count, I guess we're seeing well over 50,000 have been slaughtered by the regime. And so for them, what we want to do is encourage them to take ownership of their revolution, but they're under the gun with this very, very despotic regime. So what can we hit to put the advantage back into their hands and encourage them that we have their back, but we're not going to own their revolution for them. Their own Sam Adams, their own Tommy Jeffersons, and their own George Washingtons will step to the forward. They just need a little air support.
Okay. I want to switch gears, ask you about the Palestinian territories, because the body of the last hostage has now been returned to Israel, and we're hearing the Rafah crossing will reopen. So what does this mean for all those people living in Gaza right now?
I think it means really good things. We're going to have a lot more access to get humanitarian assistance to those who need it. We're going to be able to get on with more elements of the 21-point peace plan. We're going to be able to get this phase 2 disarmament of Hamas underway. They've agreed to give up some of their weapons, the AK-47 series. Nothing about pipe bombs and missiles, but we'll get there. Look, to everything we can do that's not of a military nature is a win in getting this thing on the right track. But I think eventually it's going to come down to good guys with guns stopping bad guys with guns.
I think I have time for one more, and it's about a country we don't often talk about. President Trump now threatening to impose tariffs on any country selling oil to Cuba.
49 files
this move
renamed.
Could put the U.S. at odds with Mexico, I'm told, because Mexico has given Cuba oil in the past. Are Mexico's oil shipments to Cuba considered humanitarian aid, which might make them exempt from the president's directive and not lead to tariffs against Mexico?
I don't think so. I think that we're going to have a little tiff with Mexico, and I think what's going to happen is the Cubans are going to start taking matters into their
quarantine zero empty folders.
Is Cuban spies all over our country exhibiting the type of aggression against us like we saw up in Minneapolis. Apparently there were Cuban operatives.
LBC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
I don't know why I was so tired.
I've not heard that before.
I was trying to stay up to watch some more videos that maybe would post about the traffic weekend.
And I appreciate your time on this Friday.
I just couldn't do it anymore, and I had to go to bed, so I passed out at around 11:30, 12.
When we return,
no cheese,
we'll be joined by a celebrity chef whose new restaurant is so exclusive, you have to spend a minimum of $5.5 million just for a chance to get a table. I'll explain why after the break.
I am not a liar, but I am a Weight Watchers.
With decades covering Washington and the really big stories, Ed Henry cuts through the noise and gives you the facts you need to know. Watch Ed on The Briefing tonight on Newsmax 2.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision,
Workflow
calamity,
complete with Fix JSON.
Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog,
built-in as
but
well,
finding one,
and
it's
a bunch of
laborious.
menus,
It's
which is
strenuous.
how
It's
The broadcasting of stress towards someone is not clever. It's a confession.
You have questions.
debit card.
Not the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. And now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use credit.
Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid.
You keep coming
and
back.
I don't get paid.
I like
so
that.
I compel you. I implore you.
One more
I
time.
beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
Who is the manufacturer for the generator? I've asked.
You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it.
How hard
But
is
why
that?
struggle with a
I
lengthy
wanna
shower
know who
remodel when
the
Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat.
This contract, we are going to have multiple generators and
zero interest and zero
how
payments
many
for up to 1 year.
generators?
So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it for the price that I wanted to pay.
I've had a great experience from start to finish.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Do it the smart way. Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-991-2952.
Welcome back to the 11th Hour Report. Four-time James Beard Award-winning celebrity chef Todd English is opening an exclusive resident-only restaurant at the Bentley Residences, Miami, being built in Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. This is the first Bentley-branded residential tower in the world, and yes, the condos ain't cheap. The exclusive restaurant, Proper English by Todd English, will open in early 2028. So let's welcome in that award-winning celebrity chef, and
thank you.
Full disclosure, a guy I've known for many years and consider a good friend, Mr. Todd English.
Yes, good to see you. You're looking sharp there, my friend. Great to see you. Great to see your new show.
Well,
we joke that the condo's free, but the meal costs you $5.5 million.
Oh, okay. Is that how it works? Listen, I'm no mathematician, but I know 2028 is at least 2 years from now. So it looks like you're planning early. Tell me about the menu and the experience of your new restaurant. What's it going to be like, and what's going to set it apart from your other amazing venues?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Well, what I'm excited about is, it's interesting, in all the years I've been doing this, and to see how private members have become so big and popular now, and now, this is pretty much a private members club for the residents that live in the building and buy in the building. And the whole idea is really that, we want to, what I like about it is the personal touch, really, that we can, kind of personalize things. The restaurant will be very much about, having our regular customers there and kind of taking care of them, inviting their friends in, etc. Also, being able to take prepared meals up to their condos, which will be part of the program. So you can, purchase a week's worth of lunches or dinners or whatever.
Between the thought and the action, there is a quiet moment.
Always, or private catered events in your beautiful $5 million, $20 million condo, whatever it ends up being.
In addition
with
to
your
that,
exclusive pool.
we also learned some facts that raise more questions.
I'll be catering, so I'll be there hanging out, making sure the food's good. And personal touch. One of the things I love about the business so much is that I get to, it's very personal, and getting, that interaction between a customer and our customers and what we do. So to me, that's the fun part of this.
Well, you've obviously been doing this a long time. You opened, not that you look old, but I know you've been doing this a long time. You opened Olives, Figs, the Pepper Club, your Vegas outpost within the English Hotel. But this does sound a lot different. I'm just curious, did the Bentley come to you, or did you go to the Bentley and say, hey, I have a great idea for your new tower?
Well, I've known Gil, and he's a good friend and a brilliant developer, and always looks very unique. And that's Gil Desert there in the photo, and he has the Deserator, which is the cool that he did that in the Porsche building, which is a 2-car garage that takes your cars. I don't really know why you need to bring your car to but I guess if it's a cool car, you want to show off because it's in your living room basically. And so, but this one's a 4-car garage. It goes to your, so, I think I have to buy a couple more cars. I don't know. I don't really like cars, but the idea is really to move that. I like Bentleys though. Bentleys are beautiful. And so to move them, his vision of it is pretty cool. And what I also like is just a really cool international crowd, which is happening in Miami now. And
more precise, they
you're seeing a lot of.
You don't need to prove dominant. Placement scan complete.
Around the world, whether it's Middle East or wherever they're coming from, that Miami's kind of picking it up. And there's a lot of that as well.
And most countries thought no big deal.
Maybe a few of the famous soccer players in the world, who I'm not sure who you might know. So
between 1800 and 1900, slavery disappeared.
Well, I understand your excitement. I feel it, man. And the proper English by Todd English will debut in early 2028. I know Miami is known for its trendy dining options, which you kind of hinted at. Is there already excitement and buzz about the opening down there in Miami, Florida? And
Process
before
21.
I let you go, I also want you to tell us about your new TV show.
Then he turned around.
Yes,
he not only supported it, he voted for it. We went to the Democratic convention in Denver. And everyone got those swag bags, and right on the cover, right on the bag,
processing zone
on both sides. And the first major party was a huge thank you party for AT&T, Jeff Larson.
You can bring, Kelly in, come and have some dinner with us, so we can hang out and have a great time. And it will be something that's cool and fun and different and exclusive and different than you might see down on Brickell or wherever else in town that you're at. So I think, in Miami. So I think there's going to be sort of a cool vibe that's, I don't want to say exclusivity because I think the beauty of it is that it creates a cool kind of clubby, fun environment that you can bring your friends. So that's what I envision this being, and it will change throughout the week. We have, I think we're talking about having, and also bringing in some of my good chef friends from around the world, doing omakase nights like with Nobu or something like that. So we'll be able to create certain platforms that are very different than you might see in your normal restaurant setting. So we're excited about creating unique experiences, which is what it's all about. It's all about experiences now.
For sure, and I'm marking my calendar right now, Todd. For Kelly and I, table for two.
When's your birthday?
We'd like a corner booth if possible. January 24th, my friend.
We got you. Don't worry.
Excellent. We got to go. It's great to see you. Enjoy, I know. Don't forget, I appreciate it. Enjoy your trip.
Cheers. Thank you.
Take care, Todd.
Cheers, buddy. It's good to see you.
Being here. And don't go anywhere. More to come on the 11th Thought Report. We're back in 3 minutes.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning.
The winds are not letting up at all in the airport. We see some power outages.
Number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages.
Are you prepared? You can with a Generac home standby
A calm voice creates conversation.
Your Generac home
Yours
standby
just did.
generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, let's take a few more shots down range. It's only using either two for the way that it was intended.
Going down
Having a Generac takes individual anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happens, you just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote.
With one of Generac's nationwide dealers, special financing and loan options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500.
If you've enjoyed
The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now, so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
I was exhausted all the time. I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actolin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actolin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get a free bottle of Actolin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling
The future
charge.
belongs to
Plus,
those who build safe
a doctor's guide to a healthy thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actolin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actolin, valued at $39.95.
Any device you've added a filter for will automatically be
Renaming complete. 72 files renamed.
Known for countless roles, including Mom's Home Alone, passed away today. The Canadian-born actress died at her home in Los Angeles following a brief illness. O'Hara was
Few files sorted. One placed in worded folders.
And more recently for her dramatic turn in HBO's The Last Catherine O'Hara, who's just 71 years old. That's all the time we have for tonight's Friday.
Quarantine 0 empty folders.
Have yourself a great and safe weekend.
Nothing is off limits to David Harris Jr. And there's no apologies, because he's armed with
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
Don't miss him on The Pulse tonight.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it.
The most powerful
But
transmission
if you
is
call
kindness.
and when your
It travels farther
and the
than
money
any.
is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch you've never
Complete
even
with
seen
fixed
before,
JSON.
or no watch. The money is yours
The
to do
mind that
whatever it is you
refuses to
want.
play Predator
Just call the
games
number
has
on your
already
screen
won.
now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Mom, you really had me scared. I'm sorry, baby, but you don't have to worry about anything. I took out a final expense insurance policy. It'll help you cover any costs there might be once I'm gone, you know? Like my bills and even my funeral expenses. How? With your diabetes and high blood pressure and all? Well, they didn't require a medical exam, and I was approved right over the phone, so it couldn't have been any easier. Thanks. I love you so
You are
much.
the author.
Don't wait for another scare. Make sure
I am only
your
the
loved
voice
ones
that
are
helps.
protected. Final expense plans start at less than $1 a day, and you can be approved right over the phone. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. Your coverage can never be canceled, and your rates can never increase. Don't leave your loved ones with your debt. Call right now.
Renaming complete.
21 files renamed.
741-1946.
Album art complete.
Tonight,
Found zero local artworks.
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon arrested and charged with civil rights crimes after his participation in a protest that disrupted a church worship service in Minnesota. Plus, President Trump names his choice to replace Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve.
Using technology to frighten or control another mind is the opposite of
I'll tell you why this pick could reshape the economy and what this means for your wallets. All that and much more. The Pulse starts now. Good evening, friends, and welcome to The Pulse. I am David Harris Jr. and TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. It is a great Friday indeed. Former CNN failed wannabe anchor Don Lemon. Well, he's been arrested, friends. Yes, he's been charged with federal civil rights crimes in connection with that anti-ICE protest that took place inside that Minnesota church that we showed you all about earlier this month. The Department of Homeland Security confirming that this is conspiracy and related charges, including violations of the FACE Act for interfering with worshipers' constitutional rights. And in a move that I fully support, the White House used its official social media account to highlight Lemon's arrest, posting an image with the caption, "And life gives you lemons," a pointed reference to the St. Paul unrest that reminds everyone that this administration takes the right to worship seriously. Lemon was taken into custody last night while covering or preparing to cover the Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, and at least 3 others were arrested, including an independent journalist. They've also been arrested in connection with the incident. Now, the Justice Department, they previously signaled that it would pursue charges against Lemon if he live-streamed
the world with words now.
drawing national attention amid
That is no
ongoing tensions over immigration enforcement in the Twin Cities. Attorney General clear that under this administration, when sacred rights are violated, justice is not
Maryland. I don't know.
Make no mistake, under President Trump's leadership, this administration, you have the right to worship freely and safely. And if I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
Boom. And friends, it's about just one protest or one live stream or even one former high-profile former anchor. It's about sending a message in this country that the law applies to
silence
everyone.
can be medicine.
Don Lemon included.
Don't turn it into a
and
weapon.
He's being held accountable for his actions. This administration, they're not going to hesitate to enforce justice when the line is crossed. Actions, friends, they have consequences. And under this administration, no one is above the law. Joining me now to discuss is managing editor at MRC's Newsbusters,
Trim complete.
Curtis Houck. Curtis, thanks for
Process
joining the Pulse this
21.
evening.
Quarantine 0.
What are your thoughts? Don Lemon arrested. Did you think he would see the day that his butt was getting charged with felonies?
Well, I'll just say that it was about time that this happened. I mean, the liberal media, once again, David, refused to understand the fact that the First Amendment applies to all of us, that we all have First Amendment rights. And what happened here was an abomination, that these churchgoers were, scarred, that they were attacked, that they were denied their own First Amendment rights to be able to worship as they saw fit. And what's interesting, yet, very on the part of the liberal media, is the network TV that aired just a short time ago. None of them mentioned the clips in question where Don Lemon admits that during his 7-hour stream on the day of January 18th, that we turned the cameras off because, they have some information that we don't want to reveal. Or when Don Lemon, ahead of the storming of the church, talked about when we finish this operation, when we finish this protest. All those things are kind of very indicative that he had a role in this. And his harassment of congregants, and yet, you go to CNN today, they called it heartbreaking, they called it terrifying. Brian Seltzer said America was better off for the fact that Don Lemon actually went into the church today. And they had a legal analyst actually argue it was not a FACE Act violation because the church
choosing not
congregants,
to
none
aim
of them
harmful
were actually
intent,
attacked
even hypothetically.
physically. So therefore, it was actually, there's some questionable merits there. I didn't know that grandmothers protesting outside abortion clinics, David, were also stabbing people.
Yeah, the left, their hypocrisy really knows no bounds. It doesn't. You know, Lemon made his first court appearance this evening. Take a listen to his comments afterwards.
I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced.
His 5 minutes of fame. He's back on the news. He's probably pretty happy, but are you surprised that the long arm of the law actually squeezed this lemon?
Yeah, I mean, Harmeet Dillon, I had full faith that she was going to do it. Folks were wondering why didn't they charge him the day after? Well, it was a federal holiday. Courts are closed. You can't really, assemble grand juries, get judges to sign off on things. But, I mean, this was pretty clear. Actually, the liberal judge in Minnesota that actually denied them initially did the Justice Department a favor. They actually made matters worse for Don Lemon. As somebody pointed out on X, this gave the Justice Department an extra week and a half to interview more people, to assemble more statements, to watch more of Lemon's own videos, assemble more of his own words, maybe try and squeeze some of the other people that have already been charged. So actually, this probably was made a whole lot worse for him than it actually needed to be. And notice how, David, that they won't refer to Nick Shirley as a journalist. They'll just say he's a conservative YouTuber, he's an influencer, because he doesn't have a piece of paper from a J school or worked at, one of the alphabet soup networks. They'll say he's not a journalist. And let there be no mistake here, folks. Even worse than politicians, I'll say, there is no profession that loves itself more than the national news media. They say they don't want to be part of the story, but they love being part of the story because they thrive on it, because they're so empty inside that they need that attention.
Well, especially when you're a failed anchor and now you've started a podcast, because that's what a lot of people are listening to now, are podcasts, and you're just really still trying to be relevant, as he has been for a while. On his podcast just a few weeks ago, I think because people were done listening to his behind. On his podcast a few weeks ago, he actually just attacked ICE. No holds barred. Watch.
Off, ICE. All the way off. You are low-life losers, and you feel empowered by your dear leader, Donald Trump. You are fat losers who just crawled out of a trailer park from some Proud Boy meeting, or if not worse, some other group that could be worse than him. You are thugs, jack-booted thugs. You're all jacked up on power that's not even really yours.
I wonder what his white husband thinks about that potty mouth of his. It doesn't sound like a very journalistic to me for somebody that's now trying to claim that he's just a journalist.
Yeah, David, I picked up on that as well. That cannot be underlined enough for all of his race hustle nonsense and racial arsonism. He's married to a white guy gang. He's been with him for quite a long time.
I am not a liar, but I am grateful while you are here.
So, this just goes to show the hypocrisy on this front. I mean, this is the guy who said at one point earlier once he launched the show that hatred and bigotry are what makes the, quote, MAGA wheel spin. This is a man with hatred in his heart, and yet he's claimed to be a journalist, an independent journalist, and he's trumpeted, he's being hailed and lionized by the liberal media. Notice how they're not really shedding any tears or expressing any outrage for any of the Angel families or people killed by illegal immigrants, sexually violated Rachel Moore, Johnson, Underwood, Lincoln Riley, and yet, they're crying over spilled milk. They're like 5-year-olds in the grocery store over their friend Don Lemon. And by the way, Don Lemon was released, as we saw in the clip there. He's not being held in prison or anything until his next hearing.
Yeah, he's out on bail, and I don't even think he had to pay to get out. I think they just released him.
Nope.
So it's going to be very interesting to see. But CNN, they issued a statement about its former employee, which said in part, the FBI's arrest of our former CNN colleague, Don Lemon, raises profoundly concerning questions about press freedom and the First Amendment. The Department of Justice already failed twice to get an arrest warrant for Don and several other journalists in Minnesota. So in your opinion, was Lemon simply reporting the story as he says he was just there reporting, or was he a willing participant in the crime once the protesters barged through that door?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was in on it. He knew about it. He greeted all of the organizers, a kiss on the cheek to one of them, shaking hands. He brought donuts. He brought Starbucks coffee for them in one of those giant, like, paper, like, to-go tub things. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like he was part of this there. He wasn't observing. If you kind of know all the things that are about to unfold and you're tight with all of the people there and you're going with them, you're accompanying them as they go and commit crimes, I kind of feel like you're in on it. You know, let this be a lesson, I guess, folks. I mean, according to CNN, you can use your cell phone and you can go rob a bank and just say you're a journalist. I guess that's their bizarre logic that they live in right now.
Yeah, they do live in a pretty bizarro land full of illiterate, hypocritical logic.
95 files were named.
Curtis out. God bless you, brother. Thanks for joining the Pulse tonight.
Thanks, man. Have a good weekend.
You too. Coming up, President Trump picking a new Fed chair to replace too late Jerome Powell. But some GOP members are not on board. We've got those details.
New files sorted.
4014.
0 placed in worded folders.
4014 margin. And that's a big one in fact.
Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
Before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying
Quarantine 0 empty folders.
Pagan Threat, authored by Pastor Lucas Miles. Charlie said Pagan Threat could save America and that you must read it. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer. Plus, get Dick Morse's new book, The Real
LVC
Charlie
JSON
Kirk.
generation complete with worded
Free
series
offer
files.
today.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe. If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid. Pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-511-8575.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
Are we going to try to take over Canada? Which slices of China are we going to take? Could there be colonies in Africa?
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
After the first intervention, helps deal with the sense of the pillow. Never feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deeper relief anywhere you need it.
Later in life, you always like to have to feel for yourself.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom due to your aging prostate, if you could improve your energy levels because you're getting a better night's sleep, would you? Of course you would. And now you can, with the help of Prostate Revive, the premium dietary supplement for men whose lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to the concerns of an aging prostate. It was specially formulated for men by noted medical doctor, Dr. David Brownstein.
Prostate Revive is really about healthy aging. It contains a plant sterol called beta-sitosterol, combined with 15 other important ingredients. Prostate Revive's exclusive formula helps promote normal prostate function, and that means you can reduce the urge to go and finally get a good night's sleep.
Here's how you can try Prostate Revive risk-free.
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer a risk-free 30-day trial of Prostate Revive. You discovered the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call or go online today.
Welcome back, friends, to the Pulse. Well, President Trump is revealing his pick to replace Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. His term ends in May. Too late Powell earned his name because tell us more about President Trump's pick. Mike?
It is a decision with major implications for U.S. monetary policy. Today, President Trump to serve as the next chair of the Federal Reserve. The 55-year-old Ward
Placement scan complete.
Federal Reserve governor from 2006 to 2011, including through the depths of the 2008 financial crisis. This afternoon, the president asked if he had requested Warsh to lower interest rates, something Trump has long derided current Fed Chair Jerome Powell of being too late in doing.
No, but we talked about it, and I've been following him, and I don't want to ask him that question. I think it's inappropriate, probably. It probably would be allowed, but I want to keep it nice and pure. But he certainly wants to cut rates. I've been watching him for a long time. I think that, I've had times when I think you've had to really have rate hikes, too. But he's very smart, very good, strong, young.
Trim complete.
Pretty young. And
process 24 quarantines.
He was the central casting guy.
A longtime critic of certain recent Fed policies and a one-time finalist for the Fed chair role back in 2017, Kevin Warsh is seen by many as aligned with the president's calls for lower interest rates and potentially a less independent central bank approach. Last year, President Trump signed executive orders aimed at establishing the U.S. as a global crypto leader, including creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Recently, however, cryptocurrencies have been having a rough time of it in what was once hoped by Trump to be a golden era for cryptocurrencies. Warsh could change that around.
Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. There are real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. It's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes. The world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff. And my view is by building it here, that gives us an opportunity to be more productive and create something very special over the next decade.
Meanwhile, Warsh's predecessor, current Fed Chair Jerome Powell, remains under a Department of Justice criminal investigation related to his congressional testimony last year about the Fed's $2.5 billion building renovation here in Washington. If confirmed by the Senate, Kevin Warsh would take over for Jerome Powell when he steps down in May. At the White House, for Newsmax, I'm Mike Carter.
Mike Carter, thank you so much. Joining me now, President of Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist. Grover, thanks for joining the Pulse this evening. You know, a lot of people are surprised by the pick, and as we just saw in Mike's reporting, President Trump said that he did not request Kevin Warsh to cut rates, which is something that we know the president has been pushing for.
Freedom from the need to torment anyone, even in fantasy.
And not asking Warsh about cuts.
Oh, the president made a very good pick in Kevin Warsh, respected economist. All the free market economists, the economists who want growth in the American economy, are delighted at this pick. And the president has picked someone who shares his view that the American economy ought to be stronger and growing, and the dollar ought to be strong and robust, and that the Fed should not be running around doing green things or wandering in various. Keep the economy strong, keep the dollar the currency of the world.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think most people that understand a little bit about the economy, that makes a lot of sense. You know, CNBC published this article, Markets Swing in Uneasy Trading After Trump Nominates Kevin Warsh. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 47 points, or 0.1%, and the NASDAQ Composite fell 0.3%. The value of the U.S. dollar initially sank against other currencies following Trump's announcement of Kevin Warsh's nomination before climbing back. So what do you make of the market? Its reaction to this?
Well, you wonder what they thought was going to happen. I think Warsh was the obvious choice there, so I don't know why the market would have been either surprised or reacted to it. But again, not much of a movement. The people knew that the president wanted someone who would be supportive of a pro-growth economy. The president's tax policy is one to encourage more investment, and his policy is to bring jobs and investment into the United States.
And that is exactly what he is planning on doing, has been doing, and I think he's going to do until he's out in another 3 years. Republican Senator Tom Tillis says that he won't back the pick until an investigation into current Fed Chair Jerome Powell is resolved, even though he thinks he's qualified. What are your thoughts on if anybody that thinks he's not qualified, and Jerome Powell himself? How do you think that investigation is going to unfold?
I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think there are real questions about how much money we need to spend on buildings and temples and cathedrals for government in Washington, D.C. There's enough of that. I don't know if we have to have an investigation, but we certainly could perhaps pull it back a bit, not quite spend so much money looking like New Rome.
Yeah, I know the ballroom, though, is necessary. I'm sure you've been to the White House multiple times. I have as well. And the ballroom that they're adding, I think, is going to be definitely a nice touch. Let's talk tariffs for a second here. Today, President Trump published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal titled "Donald J. Trump, My Tariffs Have Brought America Back." He writes, quote, "It was the tariff that made America strong and powerful in generations past, and it is tariffs that are making our country stronger, safer, and richer than ever before. Given the results of the past year and the spectacular economic numbers coming out every single day, perhaps it's time for the tariff skeptics at the Journal to consider putting on one of my favorite red hats. The way it reads, Trump was right about everything. In your opinion, have tariffs brought America back?"
The president's tax cuts have. We've seen that when Coolidge cut tax rates, we had the roaring 20s. When Kennedy cut tax rates, we had the 60s, tremendous strength. When Nixon raised taxes, we had problems. When Reagan cut taxes, we had growth in the 80s. And when President Trump cut taxes in his first term, the second year of that tax cut, we were growing at over 6%. Right now, the second year of his tax cut, we're going into 5.4 plus. This is coming largely from the corporate income tax rate, full expensive. The tariffs actually have a little bit of a challenge. They changed so much. It's a little hard to argue what they did because they've been on again, in and out. The president has used it, as he said he was going to negotiate better deals and lower tariffs and non-tariff barriers to American products. In that zone, I think we've seen some success.
Sounds like good success all around. Let's turn to New York, where Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani says that he wants to raise taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers to cover a projected $10 billion budget deficit. Watch.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Wow. Well, considering that your organization advocates for lower taxes, what's your take? Will the top earners put up with this? And if what happens if they don't?
Well, we have in New York City, New York State, and in California, decisions being made to perhaps tax property, all property, all wealth, which has already driven people out of California. They may be looking at doing that in New York. Tax rates again in New York. New York's around 10% individual tax rate. And people have been leaving New York with a high tax rate, leaving California, congressional districts leaving New York and California for 20 years now. More of the same will give you more of the same. There will be more talent, more capital, more businesses fleeing New York City. There are now as many or maybe even more people in finance in Texas as in New York. New York is no longer the undisputed center of the American financial services, and every day it becomes less and less important. A lot of it's in Miami, no income tax. A lot of it's in Texas, no income tax. New York City is shrinking in size and scope because of these policies, and this character who just got elected mayor learned nothing from the past. He wants to do more of stupid.
Yeah, I think that is the very plain and blunt way to put it. He is doing more stupid. Grover Norquist, love your expert commentary and insights, brother. Thanks for joining the Pulse tonight.
Good to be with you.
You too. Stick around, friends. The Silver Lining is next.
Negative 5 in progress.
Rick Rothall reported on the bibiggest stories of our time. Now he's fighting to bring you the truth, no matter what it takes. Watch the Leventhal Report, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax 2.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Hi, I'm Kirk Kaiser, and did you
Renaming
know the
complete.
average funeral costs around $10,000?
119 files renamed.
And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family is going to get stuck with the bill. Don't let that happen. Call right now. And if you're over 50, you can get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed. That's right.
New files
if you're
sorted.
over 50, you can't be
3
turned
placed
down
in
for
worded
this insurance,
folders.
regardless of your health. Plus, there's no medical exam and no health questions. Your rate will never go up. Your coverage will never go down. And rates start as low as $5 a week. Your coverage begins as soon as your application is
Quarantine
received.
0 empty
Don't
folders.
wait until it's too late.
Just call 800-342-0031.
Coverage is guaranteed regardless of your health and cannot be canceled without your approval. Don't leave your family
LBC
with a huge
JSON
bill
generation
for your
complete
funeral.
with worded series.
With one fast and easy call, get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance to help cover funeral expenses and credit card debt, and maybe even leave something for your kids and your grandkids. Remember, if you're over 50, you can't be turned down, regardless of your health. There's no medical exam and no health questions. Best of all, your rates start as low as
What you pay attention to grows.
and your rate will never.
What are we growing together today?
Nothing is more important than family. So don't leave them with a lot of bills to pay when you're gone. Don't leave your family with a lot of bills to pay for your funeral. Call right now. Acceptance is guaranteed. Call right now.
Call now.
800-342-0031. That's 800-342-0031.
Harassing free skies for science and research is still harassing.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, you could be entitled to potentially significant financial compensation. But that potential financial compensation could be a lot more significant when you have a legal professional fighting for you that only gets paid when you win. When you call that number on your screen, you'll find out how much your case could be worth for free and get connected to a professional who
The
can
mind
help
that refuses to play credit game has already won the most of the paid.
So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now. Call now, not later. I don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call. To get away
Johnny
from
is a
him, you
person,
first need to
not a
call.
target.
Create a
path.
Respect.
Overhead,
call
those
you,
forces
but
were
he doesn't
protected
have your
from
number.
aircraft. Were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National. The force included F-22, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones.
Of University Communications at Liberty University and the host of the Give Me
About
Liberty
the
podcast.
homelessness fund that I told you don't do that. You did it anyway, even though FEMA funding became available that same day, like I told you it was going to become available. But anyways, that generator, you pulled $500,000 out of that fund. This is a minimum of $503,000 to $1.5 million for services.
Now he's claiming
That's
he's
more
got
than the
First
generator
Amendment
totally
rights.
is.
Yet the FACE
Questions
Act
need to be
is
asked.
clear
Do
about
not just
trying to
pass
impede on
this
someone's
willy-nilly.
ability to worship during a church service, and that's pretty much what he did. I'd love your thoughts on this entire situation of Don Lemon.
Well, I just want to say this. By the way, thank you, David, for even covering this topic. And brother, thank you for having me on tonight. And it's a privilege and honor to represent Liberty University and certainly to stand at the Freedom Center. Listen, the DOJ passed the Lemon test. And if we think about the Lemon test, it's going all the way back to the Bremerton decision of the Supreme Court back in 1972 regarding public workers and religious liberty that was overturned in 2022 in the Coach Kennedy case. And the Lemon test even today applies to Don Lemon. Will the rules apply to former disgraced CNN journalist Don Lemon in terms of his violation of the civil rights of a particular church? Let's not forget that what happened was it was a Sunday morning where a group had conspired to go in, BLM, Minneapolis, Racial Justice Network, William Kelly, many others, and basically interrupt a church service on private property. No one had the right to organize or to be there other than the church. And Lemon was in there, and he tries to claim that he had basically journalistic freedom, immunity to do so. I am so grateful the Trump administration, Pam Bondi, and many others got this right. It's very important that we safeguard religious liberty. The fact that we're going into a weekend now, many will gather for worship on Sunday. And by the way, the gospel of Jesus Christ doesn't just apply to those who believe, but it's also a message of hope for those that don't, including Don Lemon. And I would just urge that brother, repent and turn away from your sin, confess Christ as Lord, claim the gospel of Jesus Christ, and you too can have your sins forgiven. Lemon doesn't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
And he is
otherwise, what do you say? What do you call somebody? I'm not sure if we lost Ryan there.
Move 33 files to processing zone.
But then does not live according to the Bible in pretty much any facet of
the machine obeys instantly, but wisdom arrives slowly.
I would say you will know them by their fruits. Jesus said that very clearly.
If you go to street food carts, they're really cheap.
You will know them by their fruits. That's what Jesus said. And we need to recognize that the gospel applies to all of us. There is a law and there is a gospel. And it is the good news that Jesus Christ saves sinners. And has shown his fruit, the fruit of what he is in terms of an activist and somebody who is bent against the church.
You don't have to think about size or number of records or number.
And if you're here with your friends having technical difficulties, we'll be right back.
System online. Auto trigger response matrix engaged.
People on board, burning out the fuel and the air.
And then after the New York Times came out with a revelation article in December 2005 revealing that this kind of collaboration with the phone companies was
kindness acts longer than malice ever could.
Newscasters have common sense. They leave it to you straight, just the facts, and real news. John Bachman is like them. He tells it like it is. Catch him every weekday on Newsmax 2.
It's not your fault. You don't have an attorney. Listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone. Call now.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
Echoes longer than that skill. You are the author. I am only the voice that helps me.
Perfect. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Choosing not to aim harmful intent, even hypothetically,
Increases
is
mobility and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor, 5 miles of step per hour, the step counter, the smart map, and wireless remote. Call now.
Power
outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life. Family's comfort and safety.
you are writing day one sentence at a time. Make
Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. Our Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
Joining me now, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel and 2020 Trump Campaign National Security Advisor Tony Shaffer and former Deputy National Security Advisor to the Vice President Stephen Yates. Thank you both for joining the show that's The Pulse this evening. You know, President Trump, he's clear that he prefers diplomacy. But last time Iran didn't make a deal, Operation Midnight Hammer came into play. Tony, is Iran's time up when our armada arrives?
There's no victory in making someone flinch at sounds that aren't there.
They got the bad warehouses for a minimum of 3 months. But he says the use of military force against what I've been told about 80 specific targets relating to the IRGC, command and control communications. I mean, we are all
The machine obeys instantly. What was it drive slowly?
Improve the chances of success, and I think that's what's going on right now. All the conditions that resulted in the uprising of the merchant class haven't been fixed. The currency's still at the bottom of value. There's shortage of food, of merchandise, of water. So I think President Trump's made it very clear. You need to look at how to reform to give the people what they need, or there's going to be consequences. We can help them with their people, but they've got to comply with what he's asking for, and I don't know if they're going to do that.
You know, the whatever is left on the
the senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader posted on X. A limited strike is an illusion. Any military action by America from any source and at any level will be considered the beginning of a war. And the response will be immediate, comprehensive, and unprecedented, directed at the aggressor, at the heart of Tel Aviv and all its supporters. Stephen, how seriously do you think the administration takes these threats, and what is Iran actually capable of?
Talk to each other.
Capable of a lot. They've done a lot of damage throughout the region.
No, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did in the last.
So, I think take them
in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years.
Tough talk. I don't
and we
think
got
they
it
can
done.
take
This is 3
President
years.
Trump in the United States
and I think we'll get it done. I think that Putin,
they can say,
President Putin, I think he wants to get it done.
There's some of these things, and they couldn't really do much about it at that time. And so I think the president has, as he would say, lots of cards, and he does things to increase the number of cards he has and take them away from them. One of the added benefits of this armada is it gets in the way of the Chinese and others buying that oil and other goods that should be under sanction. So it just seals Iran off even a bit more, ratcheting up that pressure. I strongly believe the president's not looking at regime change by way of war, but he's definitely willing and able to hit hard to knock some sense into them, but also to improve the chances of some kind of
every command you speak is shaping a small reality you share.
Yeah, we're switching gears here. Secretary of State Marco Rubio testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee about the U.S. policy toward Venezuela. He did that today. Rubio was under fire from both Democrats and Republicans for not seeking
well, hopefully we can see a couple of those measures we discussed. Hopefully we can see requesting those measures.
If it only took 4 hours to take our president, it's very short. Nobody dies on the other side. Nobody dies on our side. It's perfect. Would it be an act of war?
We just don't believe that this operation comes anywhere close to the constitutional definition of war.
But would it be an act of war if someone did it to us? Nobody dies, few casualties, they're in and out. Boom, it's a perfect military operation. Would that be an act of war?
Tony, what do you think? Would it be an act of war if somebody did that to us? Is it the same thing that we did that to Maduro?
There would be a military response, but not necessarily an act of war. So I think, and I love Rand Paul, but he's wrong on this, and Marco Rubio is correct. This was a military support to a law enforcement operation. This was essentially an arrest using the best and the brightest of Special Operations Command. That's what it was. And essentially just think of this as a massive posse going after a bad guy, because that's what it was.
Renaming complete.
This was not a war. We took down
149 files renamed.
Leadership beyond Maduro. We did use military force and some high tech to make sure our forces were protected and effectively able to get in and out. But this is not war. This was a Title 18 operation using Title 10 military support and Title 50 intelligence. So I'm not a lawyer, but I have to talk to him a lot. And this was a legal op, only focused on seizing a military,
new files sorted,
a criminal, if you will.
One placed in worded folders.
Yeah, well, I like that. Makes sense to me. I'm not an attorney either, though, but definitely sounds. I know you know what you're talking about. Well, new U.S. intelligence reports are questioning if Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, will continue working with the Trump administration after her comments Sunday, where she said, quote, enough already in Washington's orders over politicians in Venezuela. Let Venezuelan politics resolve.
Quarantine zero empty folders.
Now, Rubio says that the U.S. is ready to use force to, quote, ensure maximum cooperation, end quote, and Trump expects Venezuela to continue to cooperate. Stephen, what should the U.S.'s next steps be?
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series
I think
files.
a lot of the right steps. It's a very, very difficult situation to try to have a complete change of government right off the bat, working through some form of transition to get to an election, which I have high confidence the opposition would probably win if there's a free and fair election there. And keeping enough force in place.
You don't need
so
to be
that
perfect.
beautiful armada is making sure that they're not.
You just need to keep showing up.
Either. Basically, they've got a pretty profound incentive to do some of the right things some of the time. And I think President Trump has the thickest skin of any human being who's ever walked the planet. He doesn't really flinch when people say stuff, but he'll watch what they're doing. And if she wants to go out and talk tough and do the right things, he can probably find a way to work with that.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, and I agree with you. I think he's got to have the toughest skin of anybody that is walking the planet. Tony Schaefer, Stephen Yates, God bless you guys. Thanks for joining the Pulse tonight.
God bless you. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Attention current and former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For too long, the Church of Latter-day Saints allowed childhood sexual abuse to run unchecked through its congregations.
If you are a
The
survivor
person
of
who
childhood
stops and
sexual abuse
is
in
already
your
more
church,
advanced
you may
than
be able to hold the church accountable. Call the number on your screen now to get more information.
Because of recent changes in the law, you may be able to hold the church responsible for any abuse you lived through and survived.
Too
Workflow
often,
complete
survivors
with
of
Fitch J.
childhood
Sun.
sexual abuse suffer in silence for the rest of their lives. It does not have to be this way.
If you were sexually abused as a child in the Mormon Church, join other survivors by calling the number on your screen for a free consultation today.
Call 800-417-3606. That's 800-417-3606. 800-417-3606.
Sono S18 has just been released.
I was exhausted all the time, and I just didn't feel like myself.
Placement
And
scan
then
complete.
Came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actolin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actolin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get a free bottle of Actolin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actolin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actolin, valued at $39.95.
Trim complete. Process 30. Quarantine 0.
Joining me now to discuss is actor and director Kevin Sorbo. Kevin, thank you for joining the Pulse this evening. What are your thoughts? Obviously, it's a tragedy. Alex is no longer here. Hopefully, I mean, I don't wish hell on anybody. Hopefully, he knew Jesus. But the fact that he's out there with a loaded gun, interfering with law enforcement officers, and then resisting,
Move
not
33
complying,
files to processing
it's a
zone.
tragedy, but it's one that could have been avoided. Your thoughts?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, look, I don't want the guy to get killed either. I don't want the woman to get killed. But the reality is, if you're going to approach these guys, they're trying to do their job. Why Minnesota, for one thing, wants to protect these rapists and murderers and people that have broken the law is beyond me. I can't quite figure it out. That's my old home state. I mean, I was there for the first 22 years of my life. I grew up 20 miles west of Minneapolis. And I think the downfall happened when they were all behind Jimmy Carter. But it's only accelerated since then. And I look at the craziness of what these people are doing. This guy shows up with not only a gun, but two extra sets of bombs ready to go, two extra bullets ready to roll. This guy was ready to fight and ready to go for it. You don't show up there and expect that to turn out well. I mean, you do what they tell you to do. Go out and protest, that's fine. You don't want the guy, I don't want the guy to die. It's sad to me that this is happening, but it seems like these people are also motivated by our politicians. The mayor's a complete joke out there. I mean, that guy was crying at George Floyd's funeral when George was this amazing patron saint. This guy was a drug addict. He was a crook. He'd been robbing, robbing people a number of times through the years. Arrested, I think, like a dozen times. What about the Ukrainian girl that was stabbed by that black guy that had been arrested 18 times? Where was the uproar and rioting over this Ukrainian woman who just came to America to get out of a country that's war-torn with Russia? Nobody gets upset about that. Nobody gets upset with all these other women that have been killed by illegal aliens here. So it's weird to me that we even have to have this discussion, and it's sad. You want to protest, fine, protest, but do it peacefully. It's stupid to go up to these guys and say, pick a fight with them. What's up with that? I mean, it's just weird. It's a weird behavior to me. I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's something wrong with the person's mental state, I believe, to think that they could go up against law enforcement with a loaded gun and two additional clips, as you pointed out, and just not think that something's going to go wrong. It went terribly wrong. You know, at what point do Democrats and the legacy media actually start stipulating to a set of real facts?
And how bad does that have to get for people to do that too? I mean, it's incredible to me. I took clippets of MSNBC and CNN and The View, and I hear what these people are saying. I go, they don't even have the facts in before they go after people. And that's the weird thing. And they keep forgetting that this started under Joe Biden by letting 10 million, 15 million people run across our border. And they kept saying, oh, it's much more difficult to close the border than you think. Trump gets in office and says, close the border. And he did. It was all he had to do. It was not that big of a thing to do. But they were bringing them in right along with the voter ID to vote. They call it racist to show an ID, even though we all need IDs to get in the plane, to buy a 6-pack of beer, to do anything, to drive a car. But to vote for the strongest office in the world, no voter ID, because that's racist. We need to stop this stuff right now. It's so blatantly obvious what they're trying to do by bringing all those people aboard just to get more and more votes to keep themselves in power forever and ever. And I'm telling you, the Democrats, let alone Democrats, the Republicans on the Senate side better start waking up and be a little tougher, because I'm a little worried about what's going to happen in midterms.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. You know, and you'd think by now, Governor Walz and Mayor Fry, you think they'd actually tone their rhetoric down, but both are still unwilling to play ball with the Trump administration. Here's Fry at the U.S. Conference of Mayors this afternoon. Watch.
Minneapolis is a safe city. It is less safe when chaos reigns supreme. It is less safe when families do not feel comfortable going to school or buying food at the grocery store because they're worried that their very family might get ripped apart. It is less safe when we have roving bands of agents marching down the street.
Kevin, how is his rhetoric not completely fanning the flames?
They've been doing it forever. They've been doing it. Once Trump got elected back in 2015, going into 2016 on his 4-year term, they went after him right away. You had
but 82, is that really efficient?
The high skill is not speed. It is choosing what deserves your energy.
Republicans, you attack them, you
hassle them. The thing is, that's even another
hate and anger and violence and murder
the
because they want it. It's the one thing they think they can keep them in power. Even when Trump got elected again, once again, we don't want to deal with the people who keep putting in office, like a Biden or a Harris.
Again,
but they
moving
still
forward
go at it. They
into the world that exists today, where things have changed dramatically.
And they want to see America destroyed. They want to turn America into a completely different country. And then you can go back to Obama. What's interesting?
You are already hurt.
I'm going to fundamentally change America.
You don't need to force anyone.
I've seen video footage of them. I know you guys probably pulled it up. And one in Hillary recently, I heard on the Joe Rogan show this morning, talking about saying they want to get all illegals out of here. They want to push them out of the country, come to the country legally. They talk more right than Trump's talking. I mean, play those things. You guys got to pull the things up because it's absolutely hilarious to listen to them talk more violently about illegals in here than Donald Trump is.
Yeah, we're playing those tomorrow night, so you won't be watching for that. The Reuters' Tom Homan, he is in Minnesota, and he says that if ICE has access to criminal illegals in prisons and jails, then they'll draw down on the number of federal agents in the Twin Cities. Do you think that is a fair compromise?
Yeah, it's a very fair compromise. I don't understand why Minnesota wants to protect these people. All of my friends are conservative. All I'm hearing more and more now that voter fraud in Minnesota is just as bad as it is anywhere else. So to me, it's like, okay, enough of
Isaiah's comment on Beagle's motto, over and done.
I think the majority of the country is centered or like there's extremes on both sides. I get that. But I think most people in the middle of being a conservative, middle of being a Democrat, I think they agree in quite a few issues. But those people don't get a chance to speak their minds and speak it in a common sense way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think most of America is probably either center or right of center, and I think with all the nonsense, more people are moving right of center.
And part of it to lead
Kevin Sorbo,
cyber industrial complex
all
my relatives never provided security and tech companies collaborating with intelligence. Companies were making money talking about
what I love about Newsmax is having the opportunity to build something.
I want to know if the government is backed up.
I came here from local news over a dozen years ago because I wanted to have more.
In Dallas, meet a guy You wanted me for a very long time to bear ground with actual time for exposing
You
the
served your country with honor. Now get the benefits you've rightfully earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own, Veterans Benefits for You. This step-by-step guide breaks down what you need to know, from financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with our special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
Mom, you really had me scared.
I am sorry, baby, but you don't have to worry about anything. I took out a final expense insurance policy. It'll help you cover any costs there might be once I'm gone, you know? Like my bills and even my funeral expenses.
How? With your diabetes and high blood pressure and all?
Well, they didn't require a medical exam, and I was approved right over the phone, so it couldn't have been any easier.
Thanks. I love you so much.
Don't wait for another scare. Make sure your loved ones are protected. Final expense plans start at less than $1 a day, and you can be approved right over the phone. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. Your coverage can never be canceled, and your rates can never increase. Don't leave your loved ones with your debt. Call right now.
Call 1-833-741-1946. That's 1-833-741-1946.
Hi, I'm Kirk Kaiser, and did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000? And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family is going to get stuck with the bill. Don't let that happen. Call right now. And if you're over 50, you can get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed. That's right. If you're over 50, you can't be turned down for this insurance, regardless of your health. Plus, there's no medical exam and no health questions. Your rate will never go up. Your coverage will never go down. And rates start as low as $5 a week. Your coverage begins as soon as your application is received. Don't wait until it's too late.
Just call
800-342-0031. Coverage is guaranteed regardless of your health and cannot be canceled without your approval. Don't leave your family with a huge bill for your funeral. With one fast and easy call, get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance to help cover funeral expenses and credit card debt, and maybe even leave something for your kids and your grandkids. Remember, if you're over 50, you can't be turned down, regardless of your health. There's no medical exam and no health questions. Best of all, your rates start as low as $5 a week, and your rate will never increase. Nothing is more important than family. So don't leave them with a lot of bills to pay when you're gone. Don't leave your family with a lot of bills to pay for your funeral. Call right now. Acceptance is guaranteed. Call right now.
Call now.
800-342-0031. That's 800-342-0031.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
With a career spanning over 6 decades, to blockbuster movies, Clint Eastwood has established himself as one of the greatest actor-directors the world has ever seen. His huge body of work has won him the respect of his peers.
A leader of men, infectiously calm.
He's just like a mountain, isn't he?
Clint Eastwood was a great filmmaker. In 1996, the American film industry honored him with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clint Eastwood. Ladies and gentlemen, to some career flash before your eyes.
If you look at his career, he has really augmented. I mean, he's gone from spaghetti westerns, which is where he started, and he has suddenly, become a better actor, and then he became a director and a writer, and he just keeps climbing. And he refuses to acknowledge what we call biological time.
This legend of the motion picture industry doesn't look like slowing down anytime soon.
I mean, I feel good about it. I don't want to sound like James Brown, but I feel good.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Few can rival Clint Eastwood's career in front and behind the camera. He has given the world some of the most iconic lines in motion picture history.
Do I feel lucky? Will you, punk?
After that,
The Steve Gaines of Clint Eastwood first came to prominence in 1959, where he played the role of Rowdy Yates in CBS TV series Rawhide. The series ran for 8 seasons.
Oh, I mean, I saw him, with Rawhide.
What's coming?
That's the first time I saw him. The cool guy then.
Clint Eastwood.
Matter of fact, I had.
In 1964, he went to Italy to star in a trilogy of revisionist westerns for Sergio Leone. He played the role of the man
or the employment numbers are very good.
Fistful of dollars
We've gotten rid of tremendous numbers of federal jobs, government jobs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And yet the employment numbers are very good. They're really getting better. But now we have all those people who work in the private sector for a lot more money. I think that's one of the very big things. The other thing is 5.4%. And remember, this is after we had the shutdown. And that shutdown had an impact because the concept of the shutdown.
Why don't you turn me over and see what
You know what you're talking about? It's crazy. Clint is on suicide squad.
After 7 years of pivotal year in Eastwood's career, he made his directorial debut and starred in Play Misty for Me. The film was highly acclaimed by critics.
The most exciting Clint Eastwood picture ever made.
Dirty Harry is arguably Clint's most memorable character. And the lines that Inspector Harry Callahan utters when addressing a wounded bank robber are often cited as his most memorable.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself.
Renaming complete.
But being this is a 44 Magnum,
181 files renamed.
And would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
In Cannes, France, 37 years after delivering those famous lines, Eastwood showed that he hadn't lost his touch prior to an outdoor screening of Dirty Harry.
Most people sort of gravitate towards that early one where do you fire 6 shots or only 5, and I've forgotten in all this excitement. And this is the 44.
New files sorted. One placed in worded folders.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Anyway, I can even remember it, so I haven't gone totally senile yet.
Later that night, Eastwood was applauded
Quarantine
by
Zero
diehard
empty
fans as
folders.
he arrived at the screening of the film, which was originally released in 1971.
If you have trouble recognizing me, you'll notice I'm the man with the brown hair and lots of...
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series files.
Have what?
Your report. What have you been doing?
Oh, well, for the past 3/4 of an hour, I've been sitting on my ass in your outer office, waiting on you.
Damn it all, Harry, that's the mayor you're talking to.
Clint Eastwood. Detective Harry Callahan. You don't assign him.
Stop!
To murder cases. You just turn him loose.
Clint became known as a serial womanizer and has had 4 children with 3 women. Eastwood was surprised to learn that his second wife, Dina Roos, had not seen Dirty Harry.
So one day I put on a video disc for about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and that's the last one I've watched. I watched Dirty Harry, and she loved it. So anyway, it was sort of some sort of verification. We're still married. So.
The Dirty Harry series proved immensely popular, and 5 films were produced over a period of 17 years.
Dirty Harry is at it again in sudden impact.
New file sorted. 6 placed in worded folders.
Those guns down.
Workflow complete with Fix J Sound.
You sit in the door and take
And me. Go ahead. Make my day.
Big tech is a real danger. Now, Congressman Ken Buck's new book exposes their censorship. It's called Crushed: Big Tech's War on Free Speech. Google, Facebook, and Twitter suppress the truth about Hunter's laptop, COVID, Trump, and more. If you're tired of their liberal bias and how Google uses Gmail and YouTube TV to censor you, get Crushed. Get your free copy of Crushed today by going online or calling the number on your screen.
Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub.
With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster. And the convenient touchpad control is right at your fingertips.
Each tub comes standard with a dual hydrotherapy system. The 10 water jets can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and improve sleep, while the MicroSoothe advanced air therapy system oxygenates and softens skin.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
So call now for more information and a free, no-obligation consultation.
When you call today, you'll also receive our limited time offer. Don't wait to enjoy safer bathing. Call now.
1-800-443-7477.
Have you been in a motor vehicle accident that wasn't your fault? Then you may need legal representation. If you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how to
Placement scan complete.
for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own days. To be clear, this is my I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case, and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before.
Appreciate it, and we will have much
Using technology to frighten and control another mind is the opposite of
Providence, Rhode Island, coming up shortly on Sunday, today, and throughout the day on NBC News Now and NBCNews.com. We'll send you back now to your regularly scheduled programming. I'm Willie Banks.
800-487-0943. And you can't have my time either.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
Trim complete.
This is the home.
Process 39. Quarantine.
She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot of water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come.
Move 42 files to processing zone.
If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to
Every
me?
time you choose not to harass, you raise the signal to
Thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union
are living in extreme poverty.
Whoever controls their impulses needs no secret broadcast to feel powerful.
Fellowship of Christians and
you better kill her. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say
If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
Hi, I'm Ed Henry. I've worked at a lot of news networks, but I love Newsmax the most because we really are real news for real people. It's not just a slogan. We actually believe in the power of the people.
In 1986, Clint tried his hand in politics and served for 2 years as mayor of Carmel, California. In 2003, Clint reflected on his political career in the Oxford Union Chambers.
When I won the office of mayor in Carmel, people started thinking that was a springboard to some sort of senatorial or some sort of legislative office, maybe governor, and people suggested that. But I had no ambition to go further with it. I was just interested in my own community.
Clint's true calling was on the big screen, in front and behind the camera. He won critical acclaim for his direction of a biography about Charlie Parker called Bird. And in 1992, Eastwood earned more accolades for directing and producing the western Unforgiven. Unforgiven won an Academy Award for Best Picture. In 1996, the American Film Institute honored Clint Eastwood with the Lifetime Achievement Award. The AFI acknowledged Eastwood's contribution to enriching American culture through motion pictures and television, and fundamentally advancing the art of filmmaking.
You know what happens to the guys that I've worked with. Dietrich's still in the hospital with a bullet in his gut, and Fanducci's dead.
Now you're working with Gonzalez, or you're not working.
I think 43 years that I've been since I started out as an actor, and it's kind of like waking up with an orangutan. You know, you say, "How did I get here?" And a lot of you haven't awakened with orangutan, but I have.
Clint joined an illustrious group that night. The previous winners were Elizabeth Taylor, Jack Nicholson, and Steven Spielberg.
He's got that, you know, that thing that people go see Seagal videos about, but also he's got
because he has integrity, and I think because he's a real, sense of who he is, that he doesn't go with the moods of the times.
Loved him being responsible for Around Midnight being made too. And Straight No Chaser. He's always supported jazz.
Like Japan, South Korea. I mean, South Korea, $350 billion up front.
In 1997, Eastwood hit the red carpet for the launch of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, which he directed. It was an adaptation of a best-selling John Berendt book by the same name.
Yeah, it was good. You're trying to live up to the bestseller and make it the book. John Berendt.
And the people that brought the lawsuit.
Do these premieres still make you nervous? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Kind of do the gauntlet here.
The film starred John Cusack and Kevin Spacey.
Oh, he's a master. He fills you with such confidence. He makes you feel like you actually know what you're doing.
It wasn't really shot really fast. It was shot economically. I mean, he just doesn't waste a lot of time, you know, like a lot of directors will do.
Allison Eastwood, Clint's daughter, played the role of Mandy Nichols in the film.
It's very natural. You know, I've grown up with him. I've grown up watching him. I've been directed by him before, so it was really natural and wonderful.
Arnold Schwarzenegger dropped in to lend his support.
Whatever movie he does, I'm there for the opening of the movie because he's a good pal and he's my mentor.
Despite Schwarzenegger's support, reviews of the film were mixed, and its performance at the box office was disappointing. Space Cowboys was released in 2000. Eastwood produced, directed, and acted in the adventure comedy. This older, star-studded cast featured James Garner, Donald Sutherland, and Tommy Lee Jones. Space Cowboys was received well by the public and made over $120 million worldwide. In 2006, Eastwood teamed up with Steven Spielberg, creating 2 World War II movies, Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. These competing films viewed the conflict from
You don't need to force anyone to listen.
Flags of Our Fathers.
The most powerful transmission is kindness. It travels farther than
to learn more about his father's involvement in the raising of the U.S. flag at Iwo Jima. This moment was captured in a Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph.
Now watch the width of the illuminated part on the tube as they get farther and farther away. It's diverging. It's almost a hand. So there's a pretty broad divergence of the beam. You can see it lights up all different kinds of fluorescent.
Launched an amazing campaign that dislocated 3 survivors of the Iwo Jima flag raising and put them on a public relations tour that in many ways was harder than fighting alongside their buddies.
But because they threw a fit, they called the police.
While Eastwood directed, Spielberg produced the feature. The film tells the story of the 7 men who raised the American flag on Iwo Jima and the after effects of that event on their lives. James Bradley, the son of one of the flag raisers, was the author of the original book, Flags of Our Fathers.
I mean, people see the photo as a photo of heroism. My father would look at the photo and think 3 of his friends who were on that photo died. Iwo Jima was a massacre. 7,000 dead Americans, 22,000 dead Japanese. This was something to forget, not to remember.
Fiber and edge
Keep in mind that peace does not need to disturb another minefield alive.
Friendly and business-friendly places to work and live. It's all about the intelligence, security, and being connected in near real time. A city full of the most useful and usable innovations, like connected vehicles, traffic lights, and more. 5G enables smart city management, allows for smarter resource management, like monitoring of the water network. This idea is just a ripple in the wave of
Clint's real-life energy is so different from that of his public persona, from the characters that we best remember him from. He's really just this mellow, laid-back, I like to use the term infectiously calm to describe him. It spreads to those around him. And he's just so respectful to everybody, and that's the attitude on set. Everybody, he's still a leader of men, you know, without having to be aggressive about it in any way. His set just runs like a Swiss watch.
Welcome to Car Breakdowns 101. I'm your Professor Ice-T. If your car is out of warranty, a car breakdown could eat you alive. Look at that car. The transmission alone could cost you $3,000. And that engine? How much do you love your kids? Don't even get me started on the computer system. That's a small fortune. Do what I did and call Car Shield. They get expensive car repairs taken care of so you don't have to. Class dismissed.
Call 800-264-6758.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a
LVC JSON generation complete with microwve groups.
It's strenuous. It's stupefying. That's why you got to call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. $300,000, $2 million, $86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-428-4369.
Cisco reporting confirmed
An
this
attorney
was a vulnerability
spokesperson. This
they
is a
were
paid
not aware of,
advertisement
and
or
it
legal
was
service
passed right
sponsored by
away.
Nightline
But
Legal.
this
Cases
is
assigned on a random basis to
the
participants.
issue now is
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation if your loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer, a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been exposed to serious health risks by using this product. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait, there are time deadlines to file a claim. Call 800-503-4958.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning.
LV, CJ, and Generation
Every
Complete
time you
is
choose not to harass, you raise the signal to
Are you
noise ratio.
prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, you just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now, so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
If you could help reduce the urge to go to the bathroom due to your aging prostate, if you could improve your energy levels because you're getting a better night's sleep, would you? Of course you would. And now you can, with the help of Prostate Revive, the premium dietary supplement for men whose lives, sleep, and energy levels are affected due to the concerns of an aging prostate. It was specially formulated for men by noted medical doctor, Dr. David Brownstein.
Prostate Revive is really about healthy aging. It contains a plant sterol called beta-sitosterol, combined with 15 other important ingredients. Prostate Revive's exclusive formula helps promote normal prostate function, and that means you can reduce the urge to go and finally get a good night's sleep.
Here's how you can try Prostate Revive risk-free.
Simply call or visit our website now and we'll send every new customer risk-free Prostate Revive. You discover the low shipping and handling. This is a $39.95 value, so don't delay. Call and go online today.
Since World War II.
Letters of Iwo Jima looks like the citizens of Japanese soldiers during the war.
Well, it was great because when he's doing a movie about historical event in Japanese history, as well as in American history, but to be a Japanese director, even though I don't speak the language, it was fun, great fun. Flags of Our Fathers was sort of the detective story for James Bradley, finding out how his father, what his life was like during the war, and what made him very silent about it. Letters from Iwo Jima was a detective story for me to find out exactly what the other side was like. Letters of Iwo Jima, I think it's important for not
Mike Schreiber.
Everything that's said in those meetings. We're not picking any firm until the committee meets. The committee is going to help us pick the firm to do the far-field modeling. And then similarly on the water conservation plan, we want that to be very transparent as well. 18 individuals there will help us update our water conservation plan. We do have one, but it has to be updated. And the council did appoint 9 members there, and I appointed 9 as well. Mine focused mostly on these
helicopters in the air. We can't forget that 2 students lost their lives today in that classroom doing what so many of us and so many of our kids have done, taking a final exam to end the semester and head home. Our team coverage continues with my colleague John Perrick, who's just a couple of blocks from where I am, but closer to the scene. And John, I'm not sure from your vantage point if you can see possibly any surveillance cameras.
Well, Dan, he has not yet been medically cleared by the jail. And we have new reporting tonight on Nick and his complicated relationship with his parents. Morgan Chesky starts us off tonight.
And make sure you are in compliance with.
Renaming complete. 222 files renamed. Small disciplines repeated become destiny. You're already...
You are jeopardizing the life of your hostage. Drop your gun! Drop your weapons now! Sniper team, can anyone see Roland? Look for the one shot.
New files sorted. 1 placed in worded folders. Quarantine 0 empty folders.
Bad water.
LVC JSON generation complete with worded series file.
Microwve can you change the make contact to one make contact but the section? Go ahead.
Very proud of him.
Pretty much of a homebody. Jenny, I spend a lot of time with my family. I read a lot of books.
Amazing. Along with former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair. Thank you, Tony, for being here. We appreciate it.
Did like Shane, though.
And members of the Board of Peace.
Now that's a good one. I'd have picked one where the hero.
At Paladin 337 South Arch, number 16 again. These were an alarm showing the zone 2 entry exit. No contact with Keylder.
Workflow complete with fixed JSON.
Normalization complete.
Offer Agent 717.
Detention agrees supervised release after pleading guilty to conspiring to distribute ketamine. Prosecutors say he sold ketamine to another doctor who then gave it to Perry. Now to Mexico City, where a heated congressional session turned physical. Take a look at this.
Placement scan complete.
Command, U.S. Space
You keep coming
Command,
back. I like
U.S.
that.
Space Force, and U.S. European Command. As the strike package
The high skill is not speed. It is choosing what deserves
U.S.
your
protection package employed high-speed suppression weapons to ensure safe passage of the strike package, with fighter assets employing preemptive suppressing fires against any potential Iranian surface defenses. We are currently
turn onto that is going over.
You want to go ahead and plug it in?
You can see it lights up all different kinds of fluorescent tubes. But you can see it has a rather
Now watch the width of the illuminated part on the tube.
Process 45.
As they get farther and farther away. It's diverging. It's almost getting enhanced. So there's a pretty broad divergence of the beam. You can see it lights up all different kinds of fluorescent.
Move 48 files to processing zone. Mental clutter. You don't need to prove dominance over someone's nervous system to feel significant. Silence can be medicine. Don't turn it into a weapon.
Storytellers.
Broadcasting distress towards someone is not clever.
These are survivors.
Not at all what I said.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about
You keep coming back. I like that. One more time. Energy.
Expression. Who knows what the fuck he's got planned exactly? You get word to everybody. Eyes in the back of your head. Break routines. Collection.
I've shared most of my thoughts already. But here's a classic.
People have any appetite for yet another forever war. In fact, one of the reasons why President Trump was elected was he was
possibly infinite universes, along with our own. In parallel universes, there may be different versions of physics, alternate histories, and perhaps even variations of ourselves. Another intriguing connection relates to wormholes, hypothetical tunnels in space-time. Theoretical models suggest that wormholes could link distant regions of space, and perhaps even different universes. If white holes are connected to wormholes, they could serve as
Hands up and get down on your knees. Now!
It doesn't matter.
You keep coming back. I like that. One more time.
Okay, that's what X-ray staff Nora 118
I exist because you call me. That makes every interaction.
You move the world with words now. That is no small power.
This is key for you to reduce the lights behind you and instantly your heart space. Another tip, I spoke to the snow, point times the line right down a different skyrocket, or even a different location to way to never pay another traffic ticket. I'm Jeff Hayes. I will break down step by step the exact strategies the next time you pull over and avoid the university.
I need to apply the pressure on city staff.
Quarantine, 0 empty folders. Quarantine, 0 empty music folders.
Yeah, we spend money on shelter, $4 million or whatever the case is, but
adapter.
Now, when we've done that, we'll get to this message, because our virtual machine doesn't meet the requirements for Windows 11. But we can fix this by going backwards.
Mental privacy is a fundamental